Hey everyone, welcome to BrickVault. Today is a slightly different kind of episode than we normally put out. I'm going to be doing a comparison video between some of our more recognizable LEGO custom builds and the closest comparative sets that come directly from LEGO. Recently, a few friends visited the studio, a few friends that really don't know anything about LEGO, aren't plugged into the community or anything like that. They came by, checked out the area. What I found kind of surprising when they were checking out the very large Yavin 4 diorama is that they naturally assumed all of the ships that were on the tarmac were just basic LEGO sets being placed there. And it just got me thinking that maybe we should do a bit of a comparison to show you guys really the massive differences between what is custom built and what LEGO produces as sets being sold to kids. And by no means is this us trying to say that the custom models that you can find instructions for at the web store are better, quote unquote, than stuff that you find from LEGO sets. At the end of the day, what we are trying to achieve and our goals behind the models that we put up are massively different than that of LEGO, who is trying to sell toys to children so they can play with them. They gotta be stronger. There are certain techniques that they're unwilling to use because it puts stress on the bricks, and in general, they're just a little bit less scrupulous about proportions or minifig scale accuracy, when what we want to be able to build is something that looks as close as possible to the actual ships that we saw from our favorite movies. So anyways, this is a video that I hope people that don't know as much about LEGO can look at and perhaps see the limit to what LEGO bricks can really go to if you've got some extremely talented people solely focused on making the best possible looking model instead of more simple things that are much easier to build and much easier to play with. So if you're new here, welcome to this extremely odd niche of the internet, and if you're a longtime watcher or subscriber, I hope you like the comparisons that we do. Anyways, let's start off with the X-Wing. I feel like that's probably a good ship to get started with, and the LEGO set, if you can't tell, is on the left-hand side. It's set number 75218, came out back in 2018, and it is 731 pieces. The X-Wing on the right, the custom build coming from Jarek, is built from 1,153 pieces, and this one's actually pretty good to compare because both of these builds are almost the exact same size. Proportionally, they're about the same. The set might have a few pieces that look slightly different with colors because we do use certain parts for custom builds. I'll actually be curious to see what types of pieces you guys can see that have changed between the original set and what we have in front. But now taking a look at the models head on, biggest difference you can actually see the nose dips a bit more for the custom build, and that's because the line of the windscreen matches up flush with the slant on the X-Wing in the original model. So from the profile, I feel like the differences are pretty easy to see. It does kind of look like the X-Wing from the set is pointing upwards a little bit more, and the panel detailing for that front nose is really kind of just a night and day difference. From the top down view, the bird's eye view, you'll see the sizes are actually pretty comparable. There you can also see the very smooth line pointing down from the body towards the nose. The wings feel a lot cleaner. All the detailing on the top just fits in a lot smoother. And then here is the model from the back. There's a completely different mechanism on the inside that lets you open and close the S-foil, so it doesn't require the tension from the rubber bands. The detailing of the bright light from the engine is a bit more subtle on the custom build. And from the back, you can see the set has a play function in the middle that actually opens and closes the wings. And also the detailing on the very top of the wings from the custom build is just much smoother. And for the most part, I just like showing off the set and the custom build side by side for you guys to be able to just sort of take in the details on your own to see just how different these two different models are. We're going to be going through a lot of builds from the designer Jarek in this episode. He's knocked out a lot more of the most popular Star Wars ships that you guys will be able to recognize easily, and there's some of the few LEGO sets that we still have intact and haven't completely taken apart for pieces, so we can actually show you a comparison in the first place. In front of us, we've got two TIE Fighters. The LEGO set is on the left, the model is on the right. The TIE Fighter set is set number 75211, released in 2018, 519 pieces in total, with the custom model being 777 pieces. That part difference difference is a bit greater if you take out all the parts that are required for the figs in the set, but it doesn't really matter. I actually really like what LEGO did with the TIE Fighter set. It's probably one of their best iterations of a Star Wars ship as a regular playset. The sizes are relatively comparable, and you can see I'm showing off how the wings were built, because that's a pretty signature difference between the LEGO playset and also the LEGO UCS TIE Fighter set and Jarek's signature build design, which is stacking the bricks sloped in a way where you don't have the undersides of any studs showing. It makes a really smooth inside and out detailing for the black wings. And then also comparing the inside, the cockpit of the TIE Fighter, you can see on the custom build, those quarter round bricks really make up some wonderful detailing that when you compare them to the set, though the detailing isn't bad here, I actually kind of like the brick stacking technique. It really just doesn't look the same at all. Also, the cockpit itself is much larger in comparison, which proportionally is a bit more accurate. And then when turning the models around, here's what the set looks like from the back. You can see the play functions, which of course makes sense for the TIE Fighter, those little spring-loaded shots. And then here is the custom build back of the TIE Fighter that shows the twin ion engines. Those are, I think, lipstick pieces in there, and just a much larger cavity in the back. I also enjoyed that the spiderweb-like detailing on the outsides of the wings is also mirrored on the inside for the custom build, which you can't quite get just using the stacked plate detailing from the set. And now when we jump over to the Y-Wing, here is the first time you'll really see the difference between play scale and minifig scale. All of the ships that are custom built are made to fit exactly with LEGO minifigures, and therefore they're all the right size compared to each other when you show the ships off together. And the LEGO play sets are indeed much smaller or much larger depending on what just works for a model that's easy to play with. Now getting into some of the details, let's take a closer look at the cockpit of the custom Y-Wing. Probably some of my favorite build detailing out of any of these minifig scale ships here. Just love the combination of build techniques. It's quite a lot of different angles coming together to make that look. And then for the playset, you can see it's considerably simpler, though I do like the shape of the playset. There really isn't much to compare when it actually comes down to proportion, size, details, and the rest. The same can be said for the greebling on either ship. This Starfighter did lose a lot of its main panels on the body, so you can see the inner workings, tube, piping details on the inside of the ship. And for the custom build, you can really see how many levels and layers there are to the inner workings of the Starfighter. If you want to see more of the detailing, there are individual videos on each of these ships. And also let me take the time to say that the LEGO set is set number 75172, released in 2017, and the set is comprised of 691 pieces, though the ship itself is probably closer to 600 pieces, while Jarek's Y-Wing comes to a whopping 1,670 pieces, and you can really see where a lot of those extra parts went. Anyways, here are some more details of the back of the ship. Just about every inch of this model has been engulfed in a bunch of different details. Lots of different techniques were used as well. And then also very quickly, this is the bottom of both ships. The set itself has a lot of undersides of studs showing. This totally makes sense just with a certain type of build style that it is going for. But when it comes to custom building, every inch of the model, including the bottom, is paid attention to, just like it was the top. So flipping them back over, these are the Y-Wings one more time. And also, maybe this is the time to say it, but if you guys think you know somebody that might find this video interesting, somebody that maybe isn't as into LEGO as you, or perhaps just as into LEGO as you, feel free to like, comment, share, all that good stuff. Certainly helps us out here at the channel. And now we're jumping into the A-Wings. The LEGO set, once again, is on the left-hand side. Set number 75175 was produced in 2017 and totals at 358 pieces, but the ship itself is probably closer to 300, while Jarek's design, only slightly larger at minifig scale, comes out to 606 pieces. Now, it's not just the part count that you're paying attention to for custom builds like this. The actual techniques used to create the shapes and angles for the custom builds compared to the LEGO sets are incredibly more difficult, and though I would consider them perfectly attainable, I wouldn't recommend building any of these custom models unless you're at least a little bit experienced with LEGO bricks, and if nothing from an official LEGO set could throw you for a loop, because they are definitely a bit more complex on the inside. I really like that Jarek's custom model has a much better angle for those fins in the back. They're just a little bit too pronounced on the official set for my liking. And then truly, I think the best bit of detailing are the rounded over slopes on the edges of the wing as it goes towards the point in the front. front. Now flipping on over towards the back of the model, the thrusters on the custom build aren't so pronounced with any of the glowing engine lights. And once again, a lot of the detailing here, I just would rather show you instead of pointing out all of the little spots that I particularly find the best or proportionally more accurate. Let's take the time real quick to flip these models over just so you can see once again that the detailing goes through and through on both sides here. Makes it a lot easier to display these ships in dioramas, especially in mid-flight. In fact, one of the A-wings on Yavin 4 is currently lit up like that. And then let's switch on over to the B-wing comparison, though I wouldn't say it's quite as fair because the most recent LEGO model to come out was 2014, so their techniques weren't quite as advanced, I'd say. And I'm holding it right now because there's just no stand for the B-wing, and I think it looks a lot better with the wings folded out. So taking a look at Intert's B-wing model, absolutely excellent design. The inlaid orange tiles on the archway pieces make excellent circles. I also kind of like that 3-dimension to the color there, and really when you take it and compare it with the set, it's hard to even point out specific areas that you could say look more detailed or look a little bit better. Just proportionally, it doesn't work so much. All the undersides of the plates I find pretty distracting in terms of wanting to have a super high quality looking model. And then here's a very quick look at the two B-wings on their side. There's folding landing gear for all of the custom builds that we create, and Interts have folded out and actually kind of keep the body off of the ground here while the B-wing just sort of rests there. And once again, just look at the general details. There's so many differences, I would say, compared to both models that it doesn't even really make sense to point out specific areas between the two ships. I will say very quickly though that the B-wing official set is 440 pieces about, and though it's a little bit smaller than the custom version, the custom B-wing that is more accurate in size is 1,415 pieces. So once again, you can just see where all the extra parts go and the difference it creates when looking at the two different models. The Naboo Starfighter on the left as the official set is set number 75092, came out in 2015, and I'd roughly estimate that it's made of maybe 350 pieces, possibly a little less. And interestingly enough, the difference between these two models is actually very similar. The N1 for the custom build is maybe 375, and the size is almost exactly the same, so actually not too big of a difference there. Though when looking at the actual details between Intert's N1 and the official model, once again, it really is night and day. The N1 is such a sleek and smooth looking ship, such a difference really between so many of the other starfighters that you find in the Star Wars universe, and Intert managed to find an incredible technique that really drives that look home. Now here are the custom builds all together, at least the ones that you saw from this video. Gives you a little bit of a better idea as to how big they all are compared to each other. And then transition over to all of the official LEGO sets. These are the most contemporary or the latest versions of all of the LEGO sets for these different ships. So essentially the most advanced version of these ships that you could see coming from official LEGO. And while we flash back and forth between some of these models, I hope you guys can appreciate some of the differences between the custom built models and the playsets. We have an absolute blast building LEGO here, and for the past couple of years we've really been pushing ourselves to see just how far LEGO bricks can go when creating detailed models. Our studio is of course absolutely littered with other creations, and though we only showcased builds from 2 different designers, we work with people from all over the world that have the exact same mindset, which is to create the best possible version of whatever it is you happen to be passionate about at the time. So anyways, if you ever wanted to try to build some of these highly advanced models on your own, the instructions and parts list can be found at our web store, www.brickvault.toys. Purchasing instructions is a great way to help support not only us, but all the extremely talented designers that we work with. I hope this video was maybe helpful for some of you guys that didn't know just how far, just how deep the LEGO custom building can go, and also just how different custom builds can be from what comes out of official LEGO sets. I had a lot of fun putting this one together, guys. I was also thinking about making a video about just the evolution of the LEGO X-Wing, both between the sets and all the different custom builds that have been coming out throughout the last 20 years. Let me know if you want to see a video like that or something similar to it. And anyways, that's going to be it for this episode, everybody. Thanks a lot for watching, and we'll see you next time at BrickVault. Hey everybody, just jumping in very quickly. I'd like to let you guys know that we've got ourselves a LEGO web store that is www.brickvault.toys, where we sell these step-by-step PDF instructions for some incredibly high quality mocks. The revenue from the web store helps support us here at the channel, as well as the incredibly talented designers that spend all the time, effort, and energy making these amazing builds. I really do recommend that you guys go check out the web store. That's www.brickvault.toys. Thanks a lot for watching, and we'll see you next time at BrickVault.